What's up, y'all? Y'all already know who it is. Y'all know shit. I am back. Oh, y'all just have to understand. Last week, I was feeling so horrible, y'all. I had COVID, but I'm better today. Other than the fact that like my legs are still hurting, but I had to pull up tonight, because I be missing doing my show. Like y'all don't understand. Like I be feeling like so out of place when I don't jump on and do my show. I be like, what, I got to check in with my people. I got to make sure my people are good. But anywho, y'all welcome back to another episode of Black Girl Interrupted. Excuse me. Uh, y'all already know how I get my show started. Y'all know before I jump into any conversation, I always have to do my mental health check-in. I always have to make sure that my people are good. I have to make sure that everyone's doing mentally good, physically good, emotionally good. Like I have to know. I have to check in on y'all, make sure y'all are doing good. So y'all happy Tuesday, happy Taco Tuesday. But before I even do all of that, let me address something very quickly. So let me say this. Yes, number one, I am a diehard Saints fan. You can never take that away from me. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to stop criticizing my team and pointing out the error in their ways. That's not what I'm going to start doing. So all that tussling y'all love to do with me in my comments, that's not going to stop me from saying what I need to say. Okay? On that note, who that? I just wanted to put that out there for the ones that want to keep tussling with me in my comments over my opinion. But I don't jump on yours when you say foolish shit either. So let me be. And be blessed, sweetheart. But anyway, but on a positive note, again, I always like to do my mental health check-ins. I always have to check on you. Again, I need to make sure that everyone is doing good physically, mentally, emotionally, because we are definitely in some trying times right now. And I know it's starting to take a toll on everyone's mental. Anyway, but it feels good to be back. But before I even jump into tonight's conversation, y'all already know what I do. I always play something inspiring, inspirational, motivational, just something to keep you encouraged and empowered and uplifted. So before we jump into tonight's conversation, here it goes. Here we go, is what I'm about to say. Is what I'm trying to say.
Life is not easy at all. There's gonna be challenges. You're gonna get beat down. That's the way life is.
You sort of put a mask on your face and you go home and lay in your bed when no one's looking at you, when you don't have to impress anybody and you're yourself. And fear comes in. Maybe you don't know for sure what's going to be happening in the future and it scares you. Just that fear paralyzes you. And I just want to ask you today, do you think you have hope?
At some point, everything's going to go south on you. Everything's going to go south and you're going to say, this is it. This is how I end. Now you can either accept that or you can get to work. That's all it is. You just begin. You do the math. You solve one problem, then you solve the next one.
And it doesn't matter how you get knocked down in life, because that's going to happen. All that matters is that you got to get up.
You have to get up.
Whatever experience you're having right now, it has not come to stay. It has come to pass. Sometimes you have to just back up and go within yourself and pray and meditate and recharge your batteries. Go away, clear your head, and then come back and look at it from a different vantage point. Don't operate while you're under the spell or the effect of what's going on. Don't allow your emotions to control you. We are emotional, but you want to begin to discipline your emotion. If you don't discipline and contain your emotions, they will use you. You don't have to force yourself or motivate yourself to think negatively, to be depressed, to beat yourself up over the head, to feel loaded with guilt. You don't have to make any effort to do that. Your mind is on automatic. It will do that by itself. But if you want to begin to move into your own personal greatness, you've got to be willing to go against the tide. You've got to be willing to harness your will and say, in spite of this, I'm in control here. I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm not going to let this destroy me. I'm coming back.
You ask support, what do you want? Man, I want to be diamond. Tell me something I don't know. Everybody wants it. But the raw reality of it is, everybody don't get it. And the crazy thing is, if you want it, you can get it. It's not like somebody is stopping you, holding a gun to your head and telling you you can't get it. It's a matter of will. It's a matter of hard work. It's a matter of sacrifice. It's a matter of dedication. It's a matter of commitment.
The difference is not the genetic code, the potential. It's a guy that's willing to get knocked down, finally tested on fortune, stand back up. The perseverance to see it through. The never say die attitude.
We know the battle ahead. We know the journey ahead is going to get tough. We know we're going to face obstacles. We know it's going to be some discomfort. We know they're going to try to break us. We know they're coming for us. We know that's going to happen already. So let's make up in our minds before the battle that we're going to be victorious.
Don't cry to give up. Cry to keep going. Don't cry to quit. You already in pain. You already hurt. Get a reward from it. At the end of pain is success. You're not going to die because you're feeling a little pain.
You tell yourself, I won't give up. When that depression hits you, come out of nowhere, you tell yourself, I won't give up.
There's no guarantee that because somebody is now down on their luck, they can never come back. Who can guarantee that you can't make it? That you can't have your dream? Who can guarantee that you can't do what you want to do? No one can do that. No one can predict that. You don't know what the possibilities are for your life.
Because if you're willing to go through all the battling you got to go through to get to where you want to get, who's got the right to stop you? It's your right to listen to your gut. It ain't nobody's right to say no after you earn the right to be where you want to be and do what you want to do.
All we need to do is we look at our dreams as we get ready to hit the floor. I'm blessed and highly favored.
I don't care if you're sick. I don't care what you're going through. If you're not dead, he ain't through with you yet. As long as you waking up, you still in the game. As long as you alive, you can still make it happen. As long as that breath in your nostrils, boo, you still in the game. You still can win. Now get your butt up.
All right, y'all. Like I say, I'm doing my mental health check-in. I need to make sure everyone is good. Make sure you're feeling good mentally, physically, emotionally. You already know if you ever need anybody to talk to, hit me up. You know, I'm always here. Um, Even though some days I do take my own mental breaks away from everybody, that's well deserved. And I say that to everybody, get out there and take care of yourself. Put yourself first. Don't worry about what other people say. If you need a break from everybody, take a break. You owe that to nobody but yourself. And that's why I always do my mental health check-ins. That's why I always take a moment just to stop and make sure everyone is doing good mentally. Because like I say, right now we're in some very trying times and I know it can get difficult. But keep your head up. It will get better. It will absolutely get better. So anyway, but y'all let me know in the comments how you're feeling mentally, how you feeling emotionally, how are you feeling spiritually, how are you feeling physically. I decided to put this shirt on today. Let me show y'all. Let me move this out the way. I decided to put it on because that's the mentality I need to start taking. I need to wake up every day and start acknowledging the fact that I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be where I am. I'm blessed to still have a roof over my head, clothes on my back, food on my table, and still be employed. So and I'm blessed in the direction that my podcast is going in. Um, I'm starting to see that all the hard work that I am consistently putting in is now starting to pay off. People are now starting to see and acknowledge Black Girl Interrupted. So I'm definitely excited to see where it goes for 2024. So y'all stay tuned for that. Um, I do want to. I'll save that for the end. But anyway, but tonight's conversation, let me just jump right on in because there is going to be a part 2 of this. Um, because this is happening a little far too often in America right now. So tonight's conversation is: are Black women really being protected? Femicide, an unspoken epidemic. Um, I chose this particular topic not because I have personally experienced it, but it just seems that every time I turn on the news, every time I get on social media, I'm always seeing a Black woman being unalive, that's been unalive, and it's starting to happen far too often. These are conversations that we tend to stray away from, but these are the conversations that I'm gonna continue to put on the forefront. Um, Again, as many of you know, my niece was unalived by a registered sex offender back in 2021. Um, and she got little to no media coverage with regards to it. Um, Unfortunately, not only did he unalive my niece, but there was another young lady that he unalived as well. And that's how we were able to find out. Well, actually, that's how we were able to recover my niece's remains, is because after he unalived the second young lady, he had buried the young lady in the same spot he had buried my niece. Um, so this topic, this conversation is very near and dear to me. Because again, we're seeing this far too often where we're losing Black women at alarming rates. I really don't understand what the disdain is for Black women and why Black women are being taken, as well as the disdain for Black men, or people of color. Let me say that. Um, but I really, 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 really want to kick it off with um, Zayla Bronson. Zayla Bronson is a young lady. I can't remember the city she was from, but she was 19 years old who was unalived by her boyfriend. She was pregnant at the time. She was strangled and stuffed in the trunk of a car by her baby daddy, baby's father. So here's the story, and then we're going to jump back into the conversation.
Capital murder charges are filed against Alexander Lewis for the death of Zayla Bronson and her unborn child.
Police found her body in the trunk of a car during a welfare check on Saturday. Bronson's family talked with KSN's Zena Taher.
Zayla grew up just outside of Kansas City, moving to Wichita 2 years ago to attend WSU. Her mom and godmother tell me her death has left them shocked and devastated. They say they saw no warning signs she was in trouble. Zayla Bronson is remembered most for the kindness she showed to everyone.
Her compassion for others just helped her through whatever she may have been going through.
That voice, that smile, that happiness, that joy, that pure love that she had for life and everybody else.
Zayla's mom, Taranza Rowe Bronson, says they talked on the phone nearly every day.
We were close, but like I say, obviously not close enough because I don't know if what led to this, what was the signs.
Blindsided, Zayla's godmother, Dawn Wilson, says Zayla's boyfriend is the man charged with her murder. Wilson is a survivor of domestic violence.
Not everybody make it out. And to see my baby girl not make it out is just like, what? How did we miss the signs?
The executive director at the Wichita Crisis Center says sometimes friends and family don't know when someone is a victim of domestic violence.
I've seen plenty of situations in which the abuser seems so likable, so amiable, and he's, very kind to the family as well. There's just no blame other than on the perpetrator.
An act of violence that ripped a daughter away from her mother.
But I miss her voice. Her phone calls. It will be her voice.
Zayla's family has a GoFundMe to help pay for funeral expenses. We have resources available if you or someone you know is a victim of domestic violence. That'll be in this story on KSN.com. Here for you, Zena Taher, KSN News 3.
Let me just really kind of take a deep breath and breathe on this one for a moment, because again, we're seeing this far too often. We're seeing an increase in domestic violence cases, not just against women, but against men as well. And I've addressed that. But when it comes to being in domestic violence situations, it's not always easy to leave those situations. It's not as easy as people think. And I can only speak from experience. Being a domestic abuse survivor, thank God I was able to leave alive. But I don't believe that if I would have stayed, I would be here today to talk to you. So I say that to say, ladies and gentlemen, if you are experiencing or if you're in a domestic violence situation, please, please, please try to find the easiest way to get out. I know a lot of us as women that have experienced domestic violence situations, we hope that the men will change. And one of the things that I do want to address is that when it comes to domestic violence, it's not always physical. I know that's what they put out and say, oh, domestic violence, they automatically attach it to being physical. It's not always physical. It could be mental, it could be emotional, it could be verbal. Either way, it's not good. Either way it goes. But again, I look at the increase in these cases. You know, I even pulled up some statistics, and it says the U.S. ranks 34th for the intentional female homicides at a rate of 2.6 killings per 100,000 women. That's a lot of homicide cases, a lot of female homicide cases, and 95% of them, and I should have posted that statistic, not 95%. Let me correct myself. 65, I believe it's 65 or 70% of the female homicides are at the hands of a boyfriend or a husband, a significant other. And that's a lot. That's a lot. So for the U.S. to rank 34th for intentional female homicides at a rate of 2.6 killings per 100,000 women, that's a lot of women that are being unalived at the hands of a spouse, significant other, whatever you want to call it. And that could be male or female. But I go back and like I say, when I first saw this young lady's case, it was very heartbreaking because she was 19 years old. She was pregnant. And for this man to unalive her, not only her, but your unborn child, and then you stuffed her in the trunk of your car like she was nothing. You discarded of her like she was nothing. And she meant the world to a lot of people. And you discarded her like she was trash. Again, I see these stories. I see these cases every day. And it's like, when is this going to stop? The same way I see these cases when I see Black men being unalived. Not only by each other, but at the hands of police officers. When is this going to stop? So again, are Black women really being protected? Are we really truly being protected? Because femicide is on the rise. We saw the Shanquella Robinson situation. We saw the Kanika Jenkins situation. Still, these cases remain unsolved. Still, no justice is brought for these families. What can we do? And I ask this on every show. What can we do as a community to curtail these femicide rates? Police aren't doing anything. It's almost like y'all don't care. But I want to jump into another one. But I still want to pick back up and continue on. So I want to jump onto Alicia Watts. Alicia Watts was the young lady that had been missing in South Carolina, whose body was just recovered a little over a month ago and was unalived at the hands of her boyfriend. Here we go.
And we are also continuing to follow breaking news this evening after the body of Alicia Watts was found in Montgomery County today. Thanks for joining us here at 11 o'clock. A big day in news in the Charlotte area. I'm Molly Grantham. Montgomery County Sheriff's deputies say Alicia's body was found in Montgomery County behind a cemetery. This is 70 miles from where she was last seen in Charlotte. You might remember Watts was last seen July 16th in Northeast Charlotte at the home of her boyfriend, James Dunmore. Her vehicle was later found 2 days later at an Anson County DMV. Now, the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office says Dunmore has now been arrested and charged with murder. This is video we did get of him being led in handcuffs into the police department. This was this big moment, Dunmore being walked into the jail, in fact, in handcuffs. And tonight we're continuing our team coverage of the discovery of Alicia's body, from the latest from investigators to the family's reaction to digging deeper with domestic violence experts. But first, let's start with Carly Haynes, who is in Montgomery County tonight, where Alicia's body was discovered.
A bouquet of flowers marks the spot Alicia Watts was found today. Now, we still don't know what led deputies to search this area. Now, family and friends are holding out for justice. A month-and-a-half long search for Alicia Watts coming to an end on Thursday. It wasn't the ending family and friends wanted.
Our friend did not deserve this at all. At all.
She was such a good person. And she did so much for this community. And I just don't understand why.
The Montgomery County Sheriff's Department says they found Watts' body near a cemetery in the small town of Norman, just 20 minutes away from where Watts lived in Moore County. This follows weeks of community vigils aiming to drum up awareness and get law enforcement to remain vigilant in their search.
We tried. We did not give up. We didn't give up.
The co-founder of the Black and Missing Foundation said that outreach helped sound the alarm for a case that could have gone cold.
Sadly, when people of color go missing, their cases are really not taken as seriously by law enforcement as they should be.
Now, attention turns to the suspect in custody. Watts' boyfriend and a person of interest in the case, James Dunmore, was arrested for murder at his home in Charlotte. He's currently being held at Montgomery County Jail. Dunmore has a violent past with convictions for kidnapping just 3 months ago. He'll make his first court appearance Monday morning. In Montgomery County, Carly Haynes, WBTV, on your side.
Carly, thank you. As this missing person case has now turned into a murder investigation, we have been following this story every step of the way. Our Nikki Hauser is outside the home in Charlotte where family members last saw Alicia now more than a month ago. Nikki.
This is where police arrested James Dunmore after investigators found Alicia Watts' body more than 50 miles away behind a cemetery in Montgomery County. In the meantime, it's certainly been an emotional night for the family, who's now learning to transition their feelings of uncertainty to loss. Hours after the family learned Alicia Watts' body had been found, you could see her boyfriend, James Dunmore, handcuffed and escorted to jail in Montgomery County. Police arrested Dunmore Thursday at the same home where Alicia's family members last saw her in Charlotte. After a month-long search, Montgomery County officials say she was found behind a cemetery an hour and a half away from Charlotte.
I'm so hurt right now. I can't.
Thursday's news igniting a painful mix of emotions for Alicia Watts' family.
He didn't have to do this. It was nothing. No cause to walk away.
It's weird. It's very weird, but hopefully this is the closure that we've been looking for.
Heartbreaking for family and for the community that rallied behind the search for Alicia and folded hands to find answers.
And of course, our hope was that she would be found alive.
The frantic search for a woman so loved, now settling into a fight for justice.
There's no way that you're going to take your girlfriend on a date to a cemetery. So I don't know how he even chose the spot that he chose.
That was really cowardly of you to drag it out this long, to make us wait this long, to put us through all of this for over a month.
Dunmore is now in the Montgomery County Jail. We'll be on your side following this case as he faces charges in the courtroom. In Charlotte, I'm Nikki Hauser, WBTV, on your side.
Every time I do one of these shows, it just seems to get heavier and heavier for me. So I have to take a deep breath before I even just jump back into the conversation, before I even respond. Because these murderers, you don't realize what you take away from families when you take their loved ones away from them. You don't realize the pain and the heartache that we go through of the not knowing what happened, where they are, the why, the how. You know, I go back to when my niece was unalive, and it was, where is she? What happened to her? Why did you do this to her? What did she do to you that would warrant you to want to take her life? Some of these men out here have a sick and twisted way of thinking. You don't know when to let go. And y'all have this mentality is, if I can't have you, no one else can have you. That's sick. Because when you take that person away from you, that person is gone. You go to prison. So you lose either way. Just accept the fact that the relationship is over. Let go and move on. But that doesn't seem to be the case in these situations. A lot of these men, they want to be in control. They're manipulative. They're narcissistic. They gaslight. And someone loses their life. Again, this situation, this subject is very near and dear to me because I've experienced it. And I'm still dealing with it. So Miss Yolanda, hey, you never called me, but we'll get on that later. Miss Yolanda says people that are supposed to love and care about them. Right. And this is who they're losing their lives behind. Someone that vowed to love you, vowed to take care of you, vowed to protect you. And they're the very same person that takes your life. All because they can't let go. Or because they didn't like what you say, or because they don't like the fact that you moved on and you're in a new relationship and they don't want to see you happy. But in the situation of Alicia Watts, the man that she was dating was married. Was married. So you had a whole wife, sir. Why would you take hers? Excuse me. What did she do that would warrant you to say, I want to take her life? And then you took her out and you did the same way Zayla Bronson was discarded. You discarded this woman off in the woods like nothing. You threw her away like trash. And the saddest part of all of that is the family never gets the answers that they're looking for. We want to know why. Why did you do this? Why didn't you just break off the relationship? Go back home to your wife. And then the wife went to court. I really just don't understand. For the life of me, and I may never ever get that answer. I may never ever get a response. But why? What was going through your head? What would I don't know. Maybe that's the wrong question for me to ask, but I don't understand. Alicia Watts, a beautiful woman. You have Zayla Bronson, beautiful young lady who had a whole life ahead of them, whose lives were taken at the hands of cowards. At the hands of cowards. All because you could no longer be in control anymore. All because you didn't want her to have the baby, or she was ready to break the relationship off with you and was relinquishing the power back to themselves. And some of these men can't handle it. Some of these women too. I was reading about a story, and this happened here in Houston. A young lady was dating another young woman. She broke up with her, went back to her husband and wanted to work it out. And the gay lover hired a hitman to kill the ex-girlfriend, the husband, and the child. For what? For what? Another story in Atlanta, a lesbian couple, the girlfriend broke up with her. They had altercations. The girlfriend had set the girlfriend's car on fire. She had a restraining order. They get back together. The girlfriend says, "Next time I'm gonna kill you." This girl had 4 children. Do y'all really ever stop to think of the people that y'all are hurting along the way in the process of you taking their loved one away from them? Y'all don't. Y'all are so selfish. You only think about yourself. You're only concerned with you in the moment. And that's unfair because the families and the loved ones and friends of the people you take are left to suffer. Again, I can only speak, y'all, forgive me. I can only speak from experience. I know what these families are going through. To drag it on and on and on to make the family suffer. And that's so unfair. I'm experiencing it now. The person that unalived my niece has been sending me messages on Instagram. Sick. And this man is doing 2 life sentences. So where is the justice in all of this? We're still, and this is not just for me, but any person that's lost a loved one to a homicide. Where does that leave us? How are we able to pick up and put the pieces back together if the person that took your loved one away from you is still contacting you? What are y'all gonna do to protect the families? Where's the justice in all of that? Yeah, they go away, but is that really true justice? Is there really truly justice served? Because they get 30 years, 40 years. Some of them don't even get the full murder. Some of them get off with manslaughter, whether it's voluntary or involuntary. And to me, I really feel like that's a slap in the face. It's almost saying as your loved one that was taken away by this person is only worth them doing 5 years in prison or maybe 10 years in prison. Yes, I understand. I get it. Time will never bring your loved one back, but give the family the peace and the justice that they deserve instead of giving these killers a slap on the wrist. Again, looking at Alicia Watts. This lady, she was missing for over a month, and the boyfriend knew the whole entire time. You knew these people were out looking for this young lady. And you went on about your merry little way. You had a whole wife, sir. You had a whole wife. Maybe Alicia was ready to say, maybe Alicia was like, it's either you or me, either me or her. Maybe she gave you an ultimatum. Maybe she told you she no longer wanted to be with you. That didn't warrant for you to come and take her life. I think you are a coward for doing so. And I think your wife is an even bigger coward to stand beside you knowing what you did. It almost makes me believe the wife may have had something to do with it. That's like the young lady, another case. And it's so many cases that we could just go on and on and on and just consistently talk about this. But we will probably be here till our eyes close. But another young lady was dating a man who she did not know was married, who was literally beat to death by the wife. And the sad part about it, the young lady called her mother and was on the phone with her mother as these people beat this young lady to death. Very, very sad. Again, the very same people that say they love you will be the very same people that take your life away. All because they're selfish and they're cowards. We see this all the time. We see these stories. We see these women that go missing. We see these women that are being killed every day at the hands of the very same people that say, oh, I'm going to protect you. I love you. I would never do anything to hurt you. And lo and behold, here it comes. I look at another story. Law student in California. It never gets easy to tell these stories. She was a law student who was killed by her fiancé and dismembered by her boyfriend. Again, y'all, the U.S. ranks 34th for intentional female homicides at a rate of 2.6 killings per 100,000 women. And it doesn't just stop with your spouse, but you could also die by the hands of the very same people you call your friends. Shanquella Robinson, Kanika Jenkins. Kanika Jenkins was at a party. Ended up dead. Body found in a cooler. A freezer. I'm so sorry. A walk-in freezer at the hotel that they were having a party at. This is why I say you have to be mindful with who you call your friends. Because the very same people you consider your friends could be the very same people that are plotting your demise. Shanquella Robinson, prime example. Still no justice for this young lady. Went on a trip to Mexico with her quote-unquote friends, and they killed her. Jealousy is real, baby. Envy is real. Pride, all that is real. And the family is still fighting for justice while the people, the very same people that unalived her, are walking free, living their best life. And you have a mother, a father, a sister, cousins, family, other friends that are still grieving the loss of their friend. So Miss Yolanda says, the consequences have a ripple effect that goes far beyond the quick satisfaction of revenge that isn't ours to deliver. This world is needing to wake up to the evil that is being unleashed. You couldn't have said it better. Because this world is absolutely evil. You know, Miss Yolanda, I look at the teacher, and her name just really just left my mind, who was at a sleepover with her friends, who was found dead the next day, and no one knows anything. And then when you go and you question, no one seems to know. Oh, we don't know what happened. Somebody knows. Please take into consideration the loved ones that are grieving, the children that these women leave behind. Don't you feel these children, their family, their loved ones deserve some answer? They deserve that. Going back to discussing my niece. You took her because she no longer wanted to be with you. You stalked her. You manipulated her into coming back to you for you to kill her. Then the second young lady that you killed, you called her mother and told the mother, I don't know why people think I did something to your daughter. You weren't even on the police's radar. So you told off on yourself. You choked my niece and you threw her out. You buried her in the woods behind a shopping plaza. The second young lady that you unalived, you choked her, you shot her, then you turned around and you performed sexual acts on her body as you recorded this. And then you threw her out like she was trash. This is what I mean when I say it is pure evil that walks this earth. Miss Yolanda, you couldn't have said it better with that comment. Let me post this back up again. Miss Yolanda again says the consequences have a ripple effect that goes far beyond the quick satisfaction of revenge that isn't ours to deliver. This world is needing to wake up to the evil that is being unleashed. And that's exactly what's going on in the world. It's pure evil. We have some evil, demonic spirits that are walking this earth. Because let me show y'all what I mean when I say we have some sick, deranged, evil people that walk this earth. So let me see if I can make it bigger. Let me hold up, y'all. Let me see if I can make this a little bigger so you guys can see. Oh, give me one moment. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to make it bigger so you guys could actually see. Let me make it bigger. So this is what I mean when I say sick. So the animal that killed my niece, these are some of just a few of the messages that he sent to me. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. These are his words. These are not mine. So for the listeners, for the people that are not actually watching, these are his words. I'm not trimmed to be disrespectful at all to your niece. I guess he was trying to say, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to your niece. I truly apologize for everything. A, does your sister Yashika have an Instagram? First off, why are you even contacting me? That's first and foremost. Let's go into that part. Why are you even contacting me? Then you go on to say Contisha, which is my niece's name, whole name, photo. Then you want to put my sister's name, my niece's name, my sister's ex-husband's name. You want that tattooed on you. And you want to talk to me because you need to clear up a lot and mostly apologize. So let me come out of this. And this is what I mean when I say this is sick and this is evil. Because there's nothing in the world you could say to me to even remotely remove the pain in my heart to make me understand why you killed my niece. There's no way. So he goes on to send me pictures of her. These are again photos, or I'm sorry, screenshots of the conversation that the very same person that killed my niece was sending to me on Instagram. Now, mind you, I have blocked 13 of his pages, okay? 13. This is what I mean when I say sick. Then let's move on to the next one. You're sending me pictures of her. So when I say femicide, and the very same people, again, this is what he sent to me. The picture at the top is, I'm assuming, the picture he took the day that he killed my niece. So the very same day that she went missing was the day that he killed her. So again, these are pictures that he sent to my Instagram. As you can see, I didn't accept any. A monster. These are the things that the families are left to deal with after the fact. Again, pictures. You're taunting us. Pictures. That's him laying in the bed. That's my niece sitting on the floor. These are pictures that he took of her. He's calling her his love bug. But you killed her. You killed her. All because my niece was trying to get away from you. You were obsessed with her. This is, I guess, some type of poem or whatever. I don't know. But this is just a taste of what families are left to deal with after their loved ones are taken. This here. Pictures that he sent. Absolutely disgusting. Saying, I will die for you. Our love, I guess, I don't know. But this is what the families are left to deal with after the fact. It's bad enough that you've taken you've taken the loved one, but now you taunt the family. And this is what they do. Again, I go back and I talk about Alicia Watts. You knew this young lady's family was looking for her. You knew that they were looking for her. Instead of being a man and say, you know what? I took her, I killed her, this is where her body is. Give that family the closure that they deserve. You walked around for a whole month before they found her body. Very disheartening. Very sad. But again, they don't care. Because they're cowards. I go back and I look at, again, some of the statistics that I've pulled up. Men are murdering Black women and girls at a rate almost 3 times higher than white women. Black people only make up, I believe now it's 15% of the population in America. So again, you have these men out here that are murdering Black women and girls at a rate almost 3 times higher than white women. And nothing's being done to curtail that. And again, this is not just happening at the hands of significant others, but also at the hands of friends or people you call your friends. And now police. Miss Yolanda says, the old saying, with friends like that, who needs enemies? Again, it gets harder and harder every day to have these conversations. It really, truly does. It gets hard. But again, these are conversations that we have to keep having because we're seeing this far too often. Femicide is real. Femicide is an unspoken epidemic. Again, you go back to Zayla Bronson, 19 years old, pregnant with her first baby, killed by the father of her child and was stuffed in the trunk of the car. Alicia Watts, thrown out in the woods. And the saddest part about the story with Alicia Watts is the search team found her in the very same area that they had already walked through searching for her prior. And they couldn't understand, how did we miss this? Again, the boyfriend, who had a whole wife. You killed her for what? For what? Was it because she was ready to leave? Because she was tired of being the other woman? And that's typically what happens. Or they're pregnant and they want to keep the baby. Or they've moved on and they're happy in a new relationship. I was just watching a story about that last night on TV1 on Fatal Attraction. A young woman in Colorado Springs had 2 children, had already had a restraining order against the baby daddy. She moved on. He was abusive to her. She moved on, got in a new relationship. He lured her over there on the premise with regards to the children and killed her and then threw her body off in the woods. No, I take that back. He stuffed her in like a little plastic tub and threw her body off and threw her body down at the bottom of a cliff. At one point, they thought it was a suicide because the young lady had suffered postpartum depression. The father of her 2 children lying to her family saying, oh, she was on drugs, she was this. All the while you're trying to blame the new boyfriend when really you're the one that killed her. We're seeing this far too often, ladies and gentlemen. Far too often. Every day that I turn on the news, every day that I get on social media, a young woman found, killed, boyfriend, husband, girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend, ex-husband. When is this going to end? When is this going to stop? Because I'm so tired of seeing it. I'm so tired of having to report on stories like this. But if I don't, who will? If I don't continue to bring stories like this, like these to you, it'd be just another forgotten person. And I do that because I don't want another family to endure what we have endured. I would love to see these families get justice for the murders of their loved ones at the hands of, again, the very same people that say they love you, the very same people that say, oh, I'll never do anything to hurt you. Oh, you're my friend, you're my best friend. We're seeing this far too often. Again, Zayla Bronson, Alicia Watts. Then we have another young lady, Beauty Couch. This young lady was a social media influencer from Atlanta who was killed by a guy she had only been dating a few months. The sad part about it, killed her, left her next to her car and set her car on fire, and he fled. Although he has been caught, So here's a touch on Beauty Couch, and then let's jump back into the conversation.
An Instagram influencer is dead, and her boyfriend is under arrest, according to authorities. Cobb County Police in Georgia say they found a car belonging to 22-year-old Beauty Couch in flames in a wooded area in the city of Austell. Her body was found nearby. Couch gained more than 150,000 followers on Instagram, with her fashion photos and roller skating dance videos. "2 days after her body was found, police say her boyfriend, 21-year-old Eugene Louis Jacques of Florida was arrested in Louisiana on a warrant for murder, arson, and aggravated assault in connection with her death. He's currently awaiting extradition back to Georgia. For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Mara Montalbano.
Yeah, I have to breathe in between these stories. These young women losing their lives so viciously, so violently. And the sad part, because there's always a sad part. With Beauty Couch, her sister said she always thought something was a little weird about this person. She thought something was off about this new boyfriend. Hey, Anthony. Her name was Beauty Couch. If you in Atlanta, it was in Austell, Georgia. This was just this we're in September. I want to say this was like the early part of August. But her name was Beauty Couch. Here, I'll post it back up. There you go. But the sister said something was off about this young man. Something didn't seem right with him. You left her in the woods, set her car on fire, and then you left and you went to Louisiana. He was actually arrested in Slidell. Slidell, Louisiana is where he was arrested. Ladies, I know we want to try to love the red flags out of these men or these women, whether you're in a straight relationship or you're in a gay relationship. Run at the first red flag you see. Don't stick around to try to see if it's going to get better, because I'm here to tell you, baby, from experience, it only gets worse. It gets worse. They don't change. They change victims. That's all they do. Again, I'm only speaking from experience. They change victims. After they beat you and you get away with your life, they just move on to another person. And the next person may not be so lucky. And the most heinous part about it is when these men are arrested, they have records and histories of domestic violence or aggravated assault charges. They have a history. So I say that to say, ladies, run. At that first red flag that you see, get the hell out of there. Start protecting yourself, ladies. Because for some reason, some of these men are showing a disdain for Black women, and we're seeing this every day, and it's a sickness. We're seeing this. Again, every time I turn on the news, every time I get on social media, another Black woman killed at the hands of her boyfriend, her husband. I go back and I look at a story that really rocked me to the core. Imani Robertson. I have to take a deep breath. This story here was absolutely disturbing. This story somehow affected me different. Amani Robertson from Atlanta. I'm sorry, Imani Roberson. My apologies, Imani Roberson. I don't know why this story hit me the hardest. I don't know if it was because this was the third child her family lost, the 4 children that are left, or if it was the fact that the husband did it. Mm. Ooh. Let me breathe through this one because like I say, this one, it hit my spirit a little differently again. I don't know if it's because I believe this is the third child that her family has lost. She was the third child that her parents have to bury. The fact that this woman had 4 beautiful children, or the fact that it was the husband. Mm. Anthony says, "Just a sad story." Absolutely, because all these stories have affected me differently. But when it comes to Imani Roberson, again, I really choked up watching the press conference with this young lady's parents. Again, I don't know if it's because this was the third child that her parents are having to bury, the 4 children that are left without a mother, or the fact that it was the husband. It's a combination of all 3. I really can't even just pinpoint out and say, "This is the one, this is the one, this is what." But with Imani Roberson, here we go.
I said my goodbyes to my daughter yesterday. And I told her, I promised her when I laid there with Royal that we will work with whoever we have to, and all people that's involved will be held accountable.
The father of Imani Roberson at a news conference this morning reacting to the latest news surrounding his daughter's death. The mother of 4 had been missing for nearly 3 weeks. Her family says the last time they heard from her was on July 16th. Police eventually found Roberson's car in South Fulton County. The car was burned from the inside out along Camp Creek Parkway. Today, authorities announced the arrest of Imani's husband, Donnell Anderson. He was arrested and charged in connection with her death. With more on the case, 11 Alive's Molly Oak has more from Rockdale County.
The unknown now answered.
Today is a very difficult day.
Imani Roberson's mom and dad,
for our family, especially the mother and the father,
now know what happened to their daughter.
When I couldn't reach Imani almost 3 weeks ago, I knew something was wrong. Late last night, my worst fears were confirmed, and our family is devastated.
Imani's mom, Clarine Endahar White, knew something wasn't right when she didn't hear from her daughter. Imani and her 4 kids went to her mom's for dinner in Conyers on July 16th. Her 2 oldest stayed with Clarine, while Imani took her 3-year-old and 1-month-old home with her. But when Clarine didn't hear from her daughter the next day, she knew she had to call for help. That's when Rockdale County Sheriff's Office started investigating.
And it was clear that foul play was evident in the disappearance of Imani.
On July 19th, 3 days after she was last seen, the Sheriff's Office found Imani's car, torched, in South Fulton County. Yesterday, they found Imani's body, just a couple miles from her car. And they found the suspect here at City Central Apartments in Atlanta. The Sheriff's Office arrested and charged Imani's husband, Donnell Anderson, with multiple charges, including felony murder, malice murder, and aggravated assault.
And I can assure you that another arrest will be made.
Imani's family knows the pain isn't over.
We thank you for your continued prayers and support as we work to care for Imani's beautiful boys without a mother.
Their daughter is gone.
So I said my goodbyes to my daughter yesterday. And I told her, I promised her when I laid there with Royal that we will work with whoever we have to, and all people that's involved will be held accountable.
Hand in hand, the family tearfully thanked law enforcement for helping them get answers.
Thank you. Thank you. It's not the news that we wanted, but I'm happy that we can hold them accountable.
Knowing now what they most feared. In Rockdale County, Molly Oak, 11 Alive News.
The latest information on this awful story can be found on 11alive.com.
Ooh. And in regards to the second person that was arrested was actually her husband's brother. Mm. I really just kind of have to breathe through this one. Mm. So Anthony says it really doesn't matter. He said that is just wrong on so many levels. And absolutely it is. Because some of these men these days hate rejection. Some of these men, and I'm not going to say all, but some of these men don't like for you to tell them no. Whatever the situation was, you've left 4 children without a mother for your own selfishness. You've left a void in the hearts of a mother and father that will never be filled. All because you wanted to be a coward, because you were a coward. I don't care what the situation was. I don't care. But these men and these women that, again, these domestic violence situations that end in death, you don't stop to consider the families, the friends, the children that are left hurt because of your actions. And the icing on the cake is the audacity and the gall for them to have an attitude when families get up to read the victim impact statements. No regards. Again, Imani Roberson. Beautiful mother of 4. Just thrown out in the woods. Like trash. And you walk away like nothing. You go home and you carry on about your day. Why? You know what? Let me stop asking why. Let me stop asking why, because we'll never get a real true answer with regards to why these monsters do what they do. We'll never get a real true answer. Never. We'll never get that. And it's like, despite being murdered at higher rates, Black and brown murdered and missing women are not receiving the same media attention and resources as white women. Hell, we're still hearing about Gabby Petito. They've made a Lifetime movie. Hell, they've made what? I think like 2 Tubi movies. We don't get the same media attention and resources as white women do when they go missing and when they're murdered. Although black and brown are being murdered, black and brown women, I'm sorry, are being murdered at higher rates. Being murdered at higher rates. And we don't receive the same media attention. And that's what I mean when I say, y'all, we have to come together. We have to come together. We have to start putting these cases on the forefront. We have to start lighting fire under their asses to seek justice to help us find our loved ones. Yes, I do understand that the manpower, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of money, it takes a lot of effort. But for the same energy that you put in when white women go missing should be the same energy that you put into when black and brown women go missing as well. Those very same resources that you utilize for them could be utilized for us too. And I'm going to stand on that. I'm going to stand on that. Because again, you can't tell me, oh, we don't have the manpower, we don't have the resource. Yes, you do, because you utilize it for what really matters, but never for black and brown people. And again, we're being murdered at higher rates than white women. The same news, the same resources can be utilized, but they're not when it comes to black and brown women that are murdered and missing. We never receive the media coverage that we deserve. Hell, the same energy that y'all put in trying to find Carlisle Russell, utilize those same resources to go and find black and brown women that go missing every day. Hell, help us create an app to where we could send out to people that live in different states about black and brown women that go missing. I just don't understand why those same resources are not utilized for us. I'll never understand that. Y'all don't value us. And that's the disheartening part of this in its entirety. Y'all don't value us. Black and brown women, we matter. We matter just as much as the next person. But you don't care. Same with regards to black men that go missing. I look at Jelani Day. We still don't know what happened to Jelani Day. We still haven't gotten justice for Kendrick Johnson. I don't understand. And it's sickening to me. It really saddens my heart. Anthony says they think we are less than. Absolutely. And they've always made us feel this way, and they continue to make us feel this way. Again, there were countless black and brown women that go missing every day and get no media coverage. Hell, they still talking about Natalie Holloway. And Natalie Holloway went missing, 20-something years ago. But you have these black and brown women that go missing every day. Nothing. Anytime I see a post on social media about a black or brown person missing, I'm gonna repost it. All it takes, you imagine if social media is a breeding ground for the devil, just imagine the good that social media could do if we allow it to do good for us. Anytime I see a post about a black or brown person that goes missing, I'm sharing, I'm reposting. Because if that's my child, I would want you to do the same for me. I would want you to be the voice for me. I would want you to help me get the word out. If one of my children were to ever go missing, or if one of my children was to ever be murdered, I would want your help. But again, the same media attention and resources that they have for white women can be utilized for Black and brown women also. So miss me with, oh, well, we can. Yeah, we can. We can make a difference. We just really have to collectively come together. Like I said, get up and let's go to these meetings, y'all. Advocate for what you want. Like, y'all don't say anything. Nobody says anything. Again, they're still talking about JonBenet Ramsey. And JonBenet Ramsey was killed, what, 20, 30 years ago? And again, you have Black and brown women that go missing every day, and we get no coverage. I remember, y'all, when my niece was murdered, when my niece was missing, and the other young lady was missing too, but prior to their bodies being found, do you know that they got a 30-second, 40-second segment that was cut because a white lady and her dog were killed at Piedmont Park? That was pushed to the side. Another young lady that was killed in Piedmont Park, a Black young lady. Her story got no coverage. And by no means, let me put this out here. By no means am I being racist, but I'm just stating the facts. Because I'm going to always give you facts over feelings. There's no media coverage. I watch these stories every day. You see it, and again, it's on to something else. You really have families out here that are begging and pleading for help, some type of coverage. And this is what I utilize my platform for. To help get these family stories out. The media doesn't do it. So why not utilize my platform for the good? Because again, I would ask for someone to do the same for me. I would ask somebody to do the same for me if it came down to it. Matter of fact, I did. When my niece was missing, I shared it. And I begged people, anybody in the Atlanta area, please share, please help. And I can count on one hand the number of people that assisted in helping to find my niece. But those very same people turn around and want me to put a story out for them. Let me say this. I do this because this is my purpose. This is my passion. Miss Yolanda says, right. Fucking say something. But I do this because this is my passion and this is my purpose. I don't do this for likes. I don't do this for views. I utilize my platform for the good, to bring about conversations that are missed, that are lost in the translation because y'all are so concerned with what's going on in these celebrities' lives. When you have stuff that's going on in your own backyard that you could care to talk about. That's why I do what I do. This is why I do this. I do it because maybe this could help somebody. Maybe if I get a story out, this could help bring some type of closure. Maybe somebody will tune in and watch the replay and say, oh my God, hey, I know her. Oh my God, I saw her the other day. This is why I do what I do. And I do it for free. I don't ask for nothing financially. I do this all for free. Because again, I've been in a similar situation. And all we as the families want is just to get the story out. You could be potentially helping somebody. That's why I do this. That's why I do these shows. That's why I do this episode. That's why I do, let me say, not this episode, but this is why I do episodes like this. It's because I would want someone to do this for me. Because again, we get little to no media coverage. And then with the situation with Carlisle Russell, you very well may have set us back. And the very same day that Carly Russell allegedly went missing, 2 women went missing that very same day that were really, truly missing and have yet to be found. So this is why I do episodes like this, to bring about awareness. Femicide is real and it's on the rise. And again, it's not just happening at the hands of in domestic relationships, but friends. We see this all the time. And to you ladies, stop trying to love the red flag out of these animals. Because, baby, when I tell you, they're monsters. They're animals. And they never change. They just change victims. Unfortunately, these young ladies didn't make it out. Maybe this episode will save the next person. I just feel like when my sister went to the police and told the police who to look for, who to look into, you may not have been able to save my niece, but you may have been able to save the other young lady that was killed along with my niece. So again, this is why I do these shows, is to bring about awareness. It's to help a family. It's to have a story out for a family who are getting no media coverage. And maybe little old me can help potentially push your story to the forefront. Maybe somebody will see this episode or any other episode that I've done and say, hey, wait a minute. I know her. I saw her. She was with this guy. Oh, I know where the guy lives. And maybe you could potentially save the next victim or victims. Maybe, just maybe. Miss Yolanda says, treat others as you wish to be treated. Love one another. Jesus said it is the most important thing. I agree. I agree. But we definitely need him down here to come and help with these evil demonic spirits that are walking this earth, because it is some demons. It is absolutely some sick individuals that are unaliving these women at alarming rates. I don't know what it is. We may never know. We may never know why these men are unaliving these women the way that they are. We may never understand. Who knows? But all I ask is share the post. Share the video. If you see a post come across someone missing, share it. Because you could be helping to save a life. You may not have been able to save this particular person's life, but you may be potentially saving someone else's life from this very same person. That's all I ask. You know something, you see something, say something. Because this could be you sitting on the other side, having to experience exactly what these very same families are going through. And that's very disheartening. Miss Yolanda says, amen. Very disheartening. But these stories, again, it never gets easier to tell these stories, but I have to. I have to. Because I could be this show tonight could be potentially saving someone's daughter, someone's son, someone's sister, someone's niece, someone's mother. Because we're seeing it far too often. And these women are getting younger and younger by the day. Sometimes I just have to breathe. Sometimes I have to pray before I do these episodes. Because these are all personal stories to me. These are all things that I've experienced. You know, Anthony says, yes, let's band together. Because Anthony, you could be a father, a brother, a cousin, an uncle, and this could be your female loved one that's gone missing. And you need me to get her story out. You need to get the word out because you're not getting any headway with law enforcement. This is why I do what I do. Miss Yolanda says, don't hide these creatures in your silence. Miss Yolanda, and we see this. And the disheartening part is you have families that co-sign and hide and take up for these very same monsters that you know for a fact have killed somebody. This is why I bring these types of topics to the forefront. This is the very same reason, again, and I'm going to say it again and again and again. This is the very same reason why I do shows like this. This is the very same episode I do these real topics. Because y'all act like y'all are scared. I have children. I have a mother. I have sisters. I have brothers. I have nieces. I have nephews. I have cousins. And I would love, love, love for someone that has a platform or the ability to potentially get my story out to the press to do just so. I would love that. So that's why I do this. This is why I get up here and I do this week in and week out. Because I would love for y'all to do this for me. I would love if something happened to my child and I knew someone had a platform. I most definitely would ask, please help me. Help me to get the story out. Help me to get the word out. This is why I do what I do. This is my passion, y'all. I don't think y'all understand what a joy this brings to me when I sit in front of these cameras, and speak into this microphone and potentially be helping a family or a friend, anybody. That's why I do what I do. This is my passion. This is my purpose. I do it to heal people. I do it to hold people accountable. I do this so we could become better as people, man or woman. That's why I do what I do. Hey, little bro. My brother says, speak the real, sis. He says, 100, sis. This is why I do what I do. This is why I get on this platform. I don't care if it's one person. I don't care if it's 100 people. Somebody's listening. Somebody's watching. Somebody's sharing. Someone's getting this over to a family and saying, hey, this is who you need to talk to right here. I get those messages. I guess I'm rolling into my final thoughts. I'm absolutely a freedom fighter. I'm blessed, brother. Oh, let me go this way. I'm blessed. I was going backwards, but I'm blessed. But I guess I am going into my final thoughts. I guess that's the way I just rolled into. Of course, that's not how I wanted to end it, but hey, that's what I'm rolling into. But I do this because, again, I would definitely love for someone to do this for me. I get messages from people daily that say, thank you. We watched your show and that hit home for me. Or we watched your show and that helped me. That's why I sit here and I do what I do. Like I tell y'all, I don't care if one person shows up. I don't care if 100 people. I don't care if 5 people show up, 500 people show up, 50 people show up. You can't silence me. I'm going to always bring those conversations that y'all run from back to the forefront. And again, when it comes to femicide, again, men are murdering Black women and girls at a rate almost 3 times higher than white women. Yeah. That's what's happening. We get little to no media coverage, no media attention, the same resources that are utilized to look for a white woman, you don't use for Black or brown people. You see a post, y'all, repost it. If y'all can repost World Star Fights, if we could sit and have conversations about celebrities that are being cheated on, utilize your platform for something good as well. Brother says, LOL, that's right. And I do. Anytime I see a post about somebody missing, I don't care if white, Black, purple, green, I share. Because apparently they're not getting the help that they need on ground. So why not turn to social media? Utilize social media what it could be good for. If we could sit and laugh and joke and play and post memes all day, we could also utilize it for something good. I utilize my platform for both. I'm going to laugh with you. I'm going to joke with you. I'm going to post memes. I'm going to talk about football, whatever. But I also come right here to Black Girl Interrupted podcast and bring you real life conversations as well. I know you're tired of hearing it. I know y'all are. But we're tired of seeing it happen. We're tired of seeing our Black and brown girls being murdered or go missing and get no coverage. We're tired too. We're tired of seeing these demonic spirits and these animals that walk amongst us that act like nothing has happened. We're tired too. We're absolutely disgusted. But I'm going to keep utilizing my platform for the good. I'm going to keep utilizing my platform to bring those important and imperative stories to the forefront. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. And I guess you could say that's my final thought. My final thought. I'm sorry, y'all. I guess you could say that's my final thought. although this episode was supposed to be 2 parts, I was able to get all the stories in one episode, so I'm happy about that. So tomorrow night, I have not done Miss Yolanda says, "You had me so lost." What did she say on your chat? Duh, football. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna talk about some football. Absolutely. Again, although this was supposed to have been a 2-part episode because I thought it was gonna kind of go a little longer than what I thought, but I was able to get all my stories in tonight. So tomorrow night, I'm actually gonna change it. Tomorrow night, we're gonna do Empower Hour. So Wednesday, so it's gonna be not necessarily Wild Out Wednesday, but Wind Out Wednesday. I guess maybe something like that. Tomorrow night we're gonna do Empower Hour. So tomorrow night will just be strictly about empowering. Um, you know what? No, I'm gonna switch that up. I'm gonna do that next week. Tomorrow, I'm gonna make it spicy. I'm gonna make it spicy tomorrow. You know what? Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna switch these episodes. I'm gonna just swap the days on the episode. So next week we'll do um the Empower Hour, but tomorrow I'm gonna be talking to the ladies, and then y'all might get a little offended. Y'all ladies might get a little offended. I'm gonna swap it up because again, this was actually supposed to be a 2-part episode. Um, and again, I didn't think I was gonna get all the stories in one night, so I broke it down. I was like, okay, well, let's do 2 parts. But since I was able to, uh, you know what? I still can pick up. You know, no, I can't. Let's I'm gonna switch it up. Let's do Empower Hour tomorrow. So tomorrow night is gonna be about empowerment. That's what we're gonna discuss. Tomorrow night is empowerment. Um, y'all drop in the chat. Let me know what type of encouragement do you need? What do you need me to do for you? Do you need me to pray with you? Do you need me to pray for you? Do you just need some empowering words? Do you just need to be uplifted? Do you just need to be encouraged? What do you need? And that's what we're gonna do tomorrow. Because I haven't been able to do it because I've been rearranging episodes because people are like, no, Ashley, you got to talk about this. You got to address this. Again, as I stated last week, I was not on because I did have COVID. But the week prior, I did say I will no longer be rearranging episodes. Whatever episodes I put out, that's what I will do. My episodes are completed for the rest of the month. But I do have some updates that I do have to bring to you guys. So look forward to those upcoming episodes with the updates with regards to the case of Tyree Nichols. There has been some developments in that case. I believe the trial has started or is starting soon, but I want to definitely touch back on that episode and bring you the updates on that. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm also going to end the month with doing a panel with just men. I do not want you women on the panel because this is only going to be a safe space for men. With regards to their mental health because this is Suicide Awareness Month. So I want to end the month with that. I already have 2 men that are going to actually join me. And I just need to touch back with the therapist and then the third guest that's going to come on. So I'm ending the month. Again, this is prevention month. So I'm going to end the month with that. And then the start of October, I'm going to be bringing you the updates with some of the cases that we've touched on that have now started to have developments that I need to keep you guys abreast on. There was a story that was presented to me today. I don't have a definitive date on that one, but I will keep you guys updated on that. Also, some of the changes with Black Girl Interrupted podcast. As of, I need to go back and look at the date because I have it on my calendar. But effective October, I will on Tuesdays, I will be streaming live to Facebook as well as YouTube. But on Wednesdays, my episodes, I will be streaming only on Instagram and TikTok. So those episodes will not be recorded, so you will not be able to catch the replays. Because unfortunately, I don't believe TikTok. I know Instagram does not do replays. I think TikTok does. So I'm gonna see how that works so I can potentially upload them to YouTube. If not, um, you'll just miss out on that show. Um, but I'm taking Black Girl Interrupted podcast in a different direction. So again, effective October. Let me look at my calendar. Give me a second, y'all. But it will be in October. Um, that I will only on Tuesdays be streaming to Facebook and YouTube. And then on Wednesdays, you will have to catch the episodes on Instagram or TikTok. Again, it is under the same name, Black Girl Interrupted. But those are the updates coming for Black Girl Interrupted. I have had to push the Black Carpet Experience back to mid-October, to roll out mid-October. Because I have some things that are coming up that I have to work on and get etched in stone, because I am working on collaborations with University of Houston, Texas Southern University, as well as Rice University. So trying to get some dates solidified with them. Hopefully that will come to forefront by where I'm looking for December, if not sometime after the first of the year. So I'm taking Black Girl Interrupted podcast in a different direction, just to gain a little more traction. So I'm not totally leaving everybody out, but I do have to start utilizing alternate avenues to continue pushing Black Girl Interrupted podcast in a bigger on a bigger stage, bigger platform, and in a more positive direction. Malcolm Jamal Lewis Farrakhan King X Robinson Jr. Hey, good to see you, brother. Thank you. Yes, I'm. Anyway, I'm blessed, and thank you for the prayers, and thank you for praying for me. Um, but yeah, so those are the upcoming changes for Black Girl Interrupted. I will post an itinerary so you guys can know, so you guys are not left out of the loop. But again, tomorrow night, again, this was supposed to be a 2-part episode, but I was able to get all the stories squeezed in tonight. So tomorrow night will be the Empower Hour. And then I will give y'all a sneak peek of next Tuesday's episode. And then again, I'm gonna end the month doing my mental health, where it's just the men. I'm only speaking to the men. I always talk to you ladies, but I want to create a safe space for just men to be able to come in and talk with regards to sharing their stories when it comes to their mental health. So I'm gonna solidify the date on that. That will be the end of September. So that will be Wednesday, next Wednesday. So y'all look to that. Um thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. But on that note, I do want to say thank y'all so much for joining and tuning in to another beautiful episode of Black Girl Interrupted. Again, y'all, I am always humbled when you guys show up and love on me and support on me and um encourage me to keep shooting for the stars. Um I've fully recovered from COVID. I'm so happy about that because, baby, when I tell y'all last week, it was, I'm telling y'all, I was ready for them to just go and take me down. I called Jesus and told him, just come on. But again, I do appreciate you guys. I love you guys again for showing up, for coming in and pouring into me and loving on me the way that you guys do. It is absolutely appreciated. It is a very humbling experience. And on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and close it out. But I love you guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow night. Again, don't forget, 8:30 p.m. Central Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Catch up on some of the past episodes, catch up on the replays. Again, I'm on Pandora, I am on Apple, I'm on Google. I'm on Spotify. Just now made it to Amazon. I'm on Amazon now, so you can catch Black Girl Interrupted anywhere you utilize your platform. So on that, I love you guys. Y'all have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Same time, same place. Bye. Good night.